What if a firm as big as UMG buys Suno? Or what if one of the big three eventually acquires them? And by the big three, I'm talking about UMG, Sony, and Warner. Right now, everyone's buzzing about AI, and some say, it's a gimmick, a toy in the basement, it's not real music. But the world's most powerful record labels, they aren't laughing. They see AI not as a novelty, but as both a threat and an opportunity. Think about it. When Pro Tools emerged in the 90s, it wiped out an entire generation of reel-to-reel tape machines, ADATs, and Tascams. Whole businesses disappeared overnight. AI could be the next Pro Tools, a paradigm shift, one that kills an entire industry while birthing another. And that's why the lawsuits are flying in right now. Suno, Udio, others, labels like UMG, they aren't filing out of paranoia. They're filing because they know what's at stake. Training data is the new gold. If AI companies are using their catalogs without their permission, that's billions in potential damages. But come on, isn't AI music just background noise? Who really cares? Well, that's a mistake. It's naive to think that AI will stay in the background. Once upon a time, streaming was considered a fad. Today, it is the industry. History shows us when a disruptive technology appears, the incumbents don't ignore it. They buy it, they license it, or reshape it. Remember UMG bought PolyGram in 1998? They bought BMG Publishing in 2006, and they swallowed EMI in 2012. Each move reshaped the music landscape. Each time, regulators said, this might be too much power. And yet, UMG came out bigger, stronger, more dominant. So let's ask the real question. What happens if one of the big three, Sony, Warner, or UMG, decides to buy a giant, an AI giant like Suno, or strikes a massive licensing deal with a model like Udio? The lawsuits we see today could just be the opening moves. The future is not about whether AI music is real. The future is about control. Who owns the technology? Who sets the rules? Who gets paid every time an AI model generates the sound of the future? And if you haven't watched my video on that, I encourage you to. A future where record labels acquire AI music companies isn't just a possibility. It's a predictable and perhaps inevitable next step in the evolution of the music industry. The history of technology, the impact on music production shows a pattern of established players adapting to and ultimately controlling disruptive innovations. Think of how the shift from the physical formats I mentioned moved to digital streaming. Everything changed. Or how Pro Tools streamlined production and made tape reels obsolete, like I said. These changes didn't destroy the industry, they reshaped it, with the major players ultimately leveraging the new technologies for their benefit. The current legal battles, such as the ones I've featured on this channel, UMG, Suno AI, that's not just about protecting copyright. Those are initial moves in a strategic game. Major labels aren't simply trying to stop AI music, they're trying to figure out, how can we control and monetize it? Don't you see it's a chess game? A full-scale acquisition of a company like Suno or Udio will create two very different scenarios for the music industry. First, imagine a scenario where a major label integrates a powerful AI like Suno into its core operations. Instead of just signing human artists, that label could use the power of AI to generate music, identify trends, and even create entire virtual artists. This could lead to a massive increase in music output, a reduction in production costs, and a new era of data-driven creativity. The AI could analyze what's popular and generate songs designed to go viral, potentially leading to a flood of algorithmically optimized but artistically soulless, for lack of a better word, music. The role of human artists might shift from sole creators to collaborators, or even curators who work with the AI to refine its output. Alternatively, the acquisition could lead to an unprecedented level of creative control. By owning the AI, the label could license its use, setting the terms and taking a cut from every song created. This would ensure that AI music doesn't become a wild west of unlicensed content, but rather a new regulated revenue stream. It would also allow the label to create a closed ecosystem where only their artists or licensed creators can use the AI, thereby maintaining their market dominance and control over the music landscape. But judging from how industry greed creeps in, that might be unlikely. The future record deal could look very different. Instead of an artist signing over rights to their master recordings, they might sign a contract that includes an AI likeness clause, granting the label to use their voice, style, or persona to train an AI. This AI could then be used to create songs, even after the artist is no longer actively recording or no longer on this planet. The label will be able to generate new music from its back catalog indefinitely, creating an endless supply of new material from deceased or retired artists. The lawsuit we see today, these are just opening notes in a battle for control of this new frontier. It's not a question of whether AI music will be part of the future. It's a question of who will own the algorithms and profit from the creativity they unleash. But while we ponder on these facts, I'd like to give you 50 potential clauses and concerns. I call them facts, fiction, and forces for and against. Facts grounded on history. Number 1, UMG is the world's largest music company with a 2024 revenue of 11.83 billion euros and a 2025 market cap of 53 billion. Suno raised 125 million Series B in May 2024, hitting a valuation of 500 plus million. Third point, on 24th of June 2024, the RIAA, including UMG, sued Suno for copyright infringement, alleging illegal training on protected works. In 2012, bear in mind, UMG acquired EMI's recorded music business but had to divest Parlophone and other assets under EU antitrust pressure. UMG's 1998 acquisition of PolyGram cemented its dominance in recorded music. Fact number 6, in 2006, UMG acquired BMG Music Publishing, becoming the world's largest publisher. UMG has collaborated with YouTube's Music AI Incubator 2023 to explore ethical AI. UMG partnered with Endel to produce artist-approved AI-generated soundscapes. In January 2024, UMG pulled music from TikTok, and by May 2024, it returned under a new license with AI safeguards. Sony Music publicly declared an AI training opt-out in May 2024, setting a new norm. Merlin, independent rights organization, licensed its catalog to 11 labs in 2025. Cobalt struck a landmark AI deal also with 11 labs in 2025, splitting royalties between publishing and recordings. Deezer with UMG tested an artist-centric payout model that deprioritizes AI noise. Fact number 14, Deezer also deployed AI song detection, tagging, and filtering generative works. The global recorded music market hit 29.6 billion in 2024, but growth slowed versus prior years. UMG's lawsuit over the fake Drake, The Weeknd Hard on My Sleeve in 2023 showed zero tolerance for unauthorized AI clones. Fact number 17, AI music startups like Suno, Udio, Moises now claim tens of millions of users. Moises alone serves millions of musicians with stem separation and remix tools. UMG has a precedent of taking equity stakes in disruptors. DOJ and FTC, the CMA in the UK, and EC in the EU have all signaled AI and media consolidation is under review. And those are the facts grounded on data and history. Now let's talk about fiction, hypes, misconceptions being touted around by the clueless. And that takes us to number 21. AI will replace all artists. That's fiction. UMG's likely strategy is augmentation, not replacement. While it is a common fear that AI will replace all artists, it does not reflect reality. AI music is far from fully autonomous artistry. Most tools like Suno still depend heavily on human direction and post-production. In practice, AI functions as an accelerant for ideas, not a wholesale replacement for talent. 22. Acquisition instantly legalizes Suno. Buying Suno doesn't automatically wipe away liability. Past infringements could still result in damages unless settled, so UMG will likely need to allocate significant capital towards resolving lawsuits, even if future uses become legal under new licenses. 23. AI models train only on major label catalogs. That's fiction. Many scrape indie, public domain, and synthetic data. 24. This is just Napster 2.0. It's half fiction because unlike Napster, AI tools generate rather than distribute existing files. And 25. Owning AI ensures monopoly on creativity. That's fiction. Independent AI platforms like Beethoven and Boomi continue to emerge. Let's talk about forces for. Forces for arguments supporting acquisition. That takes us to number 26. Number 26. Monetizing litigation. Buying Suno flips a liability into an asset. Forces for. Number 27. Controlling the narrative, and by acquiring Suno, UMG would shift its role from antagonist suing to innovator owning. That reframing is powerful, and instead of being seen as anti-tech, UMG could position itself as the leader in ethical AI, changing how artists and regulators perceive the debate. 28. Spotify for creation. What do I mean by this? Well, Suno's freemium platform could become the music industry's version of Spotify, but for creators. Instead of just streaming finished tracks, users could pay to generate licensed music, with artists opting in and revenue sharing built in, creating a brand new subscription economy. 29. It could also be looked at as a new A&R tool. The data from Suno's prompts would serve as a live pulse on the global taste. If millions of users are generating music in the style of, say, Afrobeats, UMG's A&R team could spot that trend early, sign new artists in that space, or double down on marketing catalog assets aligned with it. Now let's talk about some of the forces against. A few forces against acquisition. 1. Antitrust scrutiny. Regulators see the vertical monopoly, content and creation tool. Not a good mix. Legal risk. Suno's fair use defense may fail, leading to massive damages. Artist backlash. Fear of exploitation if opt-ins aren't transparent. Consumer trust. Fans may see corporate AI as inauthentic. Cost versus payoff. $500 million for Suno could be risky if the AI hype cools. Competitor response. Sony and Warner may block or counter with indie AI deals. Indie strength. Merlin and 11 Labs creates a rival coalition. Public perception. UMG could be cast as a musical monopoly villain. What about cultural pushbacks? Artists could advocate for purely human music, boycotting. What about distribution power? If UMG tied Suno to Spotify and Apple, regulators would invoke paramount precedent. What about global scrutiny? EU, US, UK, China regulators all complicate cross-border approvals. And when you look at those elements, what do you think? Do you think this will ever become a reality? In closing, I could think like any of these entities. A label executive would say, well, we don't see AI as a fad. We see it as the next Pro Tools, the next Spotify, a tool that redefines how music is created and consumed. If we don't own it, someone else will. And when that happens, we lose control of our catalog, our artists, and our future. The regulator, like the DOJ or the EU, could think, this isn't just another acquisition, it's not buying a studio or a publishing arm, this is potentially one company controlling how music is made. The risk isn't only monopoly, it's cultural dominance, and our job is to ensure innovation thrives without one gatekeeper holding the keys. An artist rep could think, our voices, our styles, our humanity, these cannot be copied and sold without consent. If AI is to have a place in music, it must be transparent, ethical, and fair. An acquisition like this must guarantee that the people who are the music remain at the center of it. A skeptic, an old school fan, could think like this: music is about soul, not algorithms. No corporation, no AI, no label can replace the magic of a human pouring their heart and soul into a song. If labels think fans won't notice a difference, they're wrong. We always know when something's fake. And the futurists could say, history teaches us, disruption always wins. The question is not whether AI music will grow, it will. The question is who will guide it. The pirates? The startups? Or the giants who already own the world soundscape? A UMG Suno merger could be the defining moment where AI leaves the basement and takes the main stage. And finally, I ask you, my friends, what does the future really hold? A new kind of royalties? A new kind of artist discovery? A new kind of music industry? Well, one thing's certain. Pretending that AI will fade is naive. Saying AI is soulless and burying your head in the sand is equally naive. The real story is who gets to write the next chapter, and whether it will be written by code, by corporations, or by the creators themselves is the question.